Let me paint a picture for you. It's a fine Sunday morning. You're out with your homies. You want brunch. You go there. Couple mimosas later, and the bill's like $120? Bro? And tip's not in there yet? But what if I told you you could make a brunch for all your homies for this price per person? That is but cheaper. This is better than I remember it. Not bad. Okay, so when it comes to brunch, right, there's multiple little things that we get. We like our eggs benedict, we like our mimosas, we like, little potatoes, some sort of potato, right? Why is there always a potato? It's always something. So we're gonna combine all the components that make a great brunch and make it as cheaply as we physically can. That's what this series is all about. At the end of the day, we don't wanna lose any flavor or quality. We just wanna drop the price. So with all that said, let's make this, shall we?
We've got all of our necessities here, folks. You got your eggs benedict, an ultra classic roasted potato hash, some gorgeous caramelized banana crepes with horchata cream, and a, but cheaper version of a mimosa. We'll get into that last. Let's begin with our eggs benedict. Look, this is real simple, and yes, we're making our own English muffins. Papa always makes his own. Or usually, at least. Start with 2 cups or 480 milliliters of milk, heat that to 95 Fahrenheit, then add 3.5 tablespoons or 45 grams of granulated white sugar, and 2.5 teaspoons or 8 grams of instant yeast. Mix all that together and let it sit until it becomes fatty and frothy. Then in the bowl of a stand mixer, add 4 1/3 cup or 675 grams of bread flour, 2 teaspoons or 14 grams of fine sea salt. Begin mixing that with the dough spiral thing. Over medium-low, add your bricked up yeast mixture, 1 whole large egg, then just let that mix, scraping down the sides as needed, and let that knead till smooth, about 3 minutes total. Then start adding a 1/4 cup or 56 grams of unsalted softened butter, 1 tablespoon at a time, letting it incorporate before adding another tablespoon until all of your butt is added. Once incorporated and smooth, give your dough some slap and folds, roll into a nice ball, and place in a greased bowl covered with plastic wrap, including a nice and regal name, and let it rise for about an hour or until doubled and festively plump. Then punch down your little man, plop it onto a lightly floured work surface, and divide into 15 even pieces. Then roll each of those pieces into a light ball, rest covered for 10 minutes. Then once your balls have had a nice, relaxing slumber, begin cranking a large cast iron skillet over medium heat. Once it's hot, grab one of your plump balls, dust the top generously with cornmeal, and press it down till you get a disc that's about 3 to 4 inches wide. Make sure both sides are dusted with cornmeal and place in your pan evenly spaced apart in batches of 3, and let those cook for 3 to 5 minutes per side till nice and browned. Flip and repeat on the other side. As you finish those, place them on a baking sheet and finish in an oven set to 350 Fahrenheit for 8 to 10 minutes, and the internal temperature is about 200 Fahrenheit. Now those are some luscious English muffins. Just let those cool to room temp on a wire rack. While those are cooling, let's make our roast potato hash. By the way, you can totally make the hash and the batter for the crepes while the English muffins are rising. So, if you want to be efficient, maybe do that. Anyway, get yourself a large bowl and add 2 pounds of russet potatoes that have been peeled and diced into 1/2-inch cubes, 1 sweet onion, also diced, and 1 red bell pepper, diced beautifully as well. And maybe toss in a sliced serrano chili or a jalapeno for a little kick, although that was not in the recipe, and I don't know why I went rogue here and did that, but hey. It's yummy. Season that to taste generously with salt, 2 teaspoons or 8 grams of chipotle powder, 2 teaspoons or 7 grams of garlic powder. Give that a light toss, and last add 3 tablespoons or 42 grams of vegetable oil. Toss until evenly coated, and place those on a baking sheet lined with foil, and pop into an oven set to 425 Fahrenheit for 30 to 40 minutes or until crisp on the edges and cooked through. Now, while those are cooking, we can get our crepe batter put together. To a bowl, add 1 cup or 150 grams of all-purpose flour, 1.5 tablespoons or 20 grams of granulated white sugar, and 1/2 teaspoon or 4 grams of fine sea salt. Give that some whiskey business. Then make a little well in the flour and add 2 whole eggs and begin whisking those together. Then whisk in 1.5 cups or 350 milliliters of whole milk. Keep whisking until everything is thoroughly combined and you have a smooth batter. Then let that batter rest for 10 to 20 minutes before using. Okay, while that batter is resting, we can make our hollandaise for the eggs benedict. We're not doing this your traditional way, so if you're a traditionalist or a purist, please close your eyes and plug your ears. Now in a high-powered blender, add 3 egg yolks, 2.5 tablespoons or 35 milliliters of lemon juice. Begin blending on high speed until the eggs begin to turn a pale yellow. Then slowly stream in 1/2 cup or 110 grams of gently melted unsalted butter. Emphasis on gently melted. If it's piping hot, it'll curdle the egg and Baba no kis, you know the drill. We just want it in a liquid state that's warm, not hot like the fiery, endless depths of the underworld. Once all of your butter is added, season that to taste with salt and a touch more lemon juice if needed to loosen. Then pour your hollandaise into a thermos to keep it warm. And really, you do need to keep this warm because if you let it go cold, Papa no sing to you, and it'll turn solid and be rendered useless. Okay, back to our crepe batter. Get yourself a non-stick 10-inch skillet and spray it with cooking spray and begin heating over medium heat. Once that's hot, add a third cup of your batter and quickly swirl the pan around to coat the entire surface. Simply let that cook for 2 minutes or until it starts to get a little browned. Flip and repeat for 1 more minute on the other side. Then repeat until you use all of your crepe batter. That's it. That's a beautiful crepe. And aren't they just oh so lovely, my little... Oh wait, that's is that supposed to be French? Oh, so lovely. I want to give it a little kiss from Pepe. Okay, we're now ready to assemble all our things. First, eggs benedict. To get a poached egg, it's real easy. Stop being a little babby and psyching yourself out. I believe in you, okay? You've got this. Bring a medium pot of water to a very gentle boil, borderline a simmer, and add a splash of vinegar. Then once it's gently boiling, begin swirling the water in one direction with a spoon to create a whirlpool in the center. Then carefully lower 1 egg that's already been cracked into a ramekin into the center of that whirlpool. Then sort of let it wrap the whites around itself and just leave it. Don't let it boil, just keep that gentle heat and cook for 3 minutes or until the whites are solid and the yolk is still runny. Repeat with the rest of your eggs, which you'll need about 8 total for 4 servings, unless you're only eating one of these. By the way, you can totally do this with 2 or more at a single time, but it does require more skill. Next, for your ham, we're gonna use normal smoked deli ham instead of Canadian bacon. Sear in a lightly greased pan for about 1 minute or till browned beautifully. You only need 1 piece per English muffin. Then just toast the English muffins, place atop your browned ham, your beautifully poached eggs, looking plump and juicy. Top both of those with your warm hollandaise sauce, and finally top with fresh sliced chives, a little fresh cracked black pepper, and a touch of flaky salt. And look, you know that just by looking at this, it's gonna be busting. Sorry, that's terrible. For the potatoes, assemble those cooked starchy boys on a plate, hit that with lots of nice random dots of sour cream if desired, and top with some fresh herbs of choice such as parsley or fresh sliced chives, or even both. Look, we don't judge here, unless you like hot avocado. Then we judge. Oh, and of course you can hit it with flaky salt as well. Now, last but not least, for your crepes, quickly make your filling by starting with 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. In a bowl, begin whisking vigorously, and once it starts to thicken, add in 1 tablespoon or 14 grams of granulated white sugar. Keep whisking until it reaches a soft peak, then mix in 1 teaspoon or 4 grams of ground cinnamon. That's it. That's your cinnamon. For the bananas, it's ridiculously simple. You just slice 2 bananas in half lengthwise, coat the cut sides with sugar, and using either a good broiler or a kitchen torch, hit it with lots of good heat until amber and caramelized. Basically like a creme brulee, but you know, on a banana. So, open up a crepe. On one side, spread on a good dollop of your cinnamon cream filling, then fold it in half, kind of like a taco, then in half again to create a triangular shape. Repeat with all of your crepes, line them up nice and snug on a plate like the line to the DMV, then top with a long boy, caramelized banana, and optionally hit it with some powdered sugar and a fat, generous drizzle of maple syrup. Now, all these plates come in together at a total price of this much per person for the whole ass meal. That is a beautiful number right there. I mean, this is a small plate meal at a fancy restaurant at this point. Now that means if you were to just get the eggs benedict, for example, you'd be eating it for this much per serving. You're usually paying close to $20 for 1 plate of benedict. Oh, but wait, we're not done. Josh, how do you make a cheaper mimosa? Champagne is so expensive. Well, that's because we're making something called a beermosa. Sounds gross, but it's basically a shandy. Simply fill a glass a quarter full with fresh squeezed orange juice, and top that with your favorite blonde or amber summer beer, and enjoy a most aromatic and hoppy tasting mimosa that not only saves you money, but doesn't sacrifice on flavor in any way whatsoever. Plus, this makes as much or as little as you want per large glass. No brunch mimosa price can compare.
For anyone who's in Texas, the lights have gone out permanently because it just rains every day. We are here in the dark to eat a brunch. It doesn't feel like brunch, but the beauty of all this coming together, I feel the spirit within my body. First thing, before we even start, we've gotten our cocktail. We've got our mimosa, or in this case, a beermosa. We gotta save money, bro. We're saving money. Why would you get an expensive bottle of champagne? You might as well use something a little bit cheaper. It's beautiful. It's refreshing, ice cold, it's bubbly. I was worried about the funk of a beer, but if you choose the right beer, then you can still meet that quality. I would even argue that a nice sour beer would go beautifully with this. Let's go into the Benedict. This isn't really all that different from any other eggs Benedict, except we cut costs by not buying expensive Canadian bacon. You're buying Canadian bacon for $11 for 4 slices. Joji, you closed your eyes like as if you are guilty of that. Are you guilty of that?
No, baby.
I'm gonna have to give you a kiss. You know what I realized I forgot? A little bit of paprika. Does that do anything flavor-wise?
No.
But it is nostalgic. I really actually prefer this over a traditional Eggs Benedict. The smokiness of the ham, you have more versatility and flavor. Delicious, 10 out of 10. Okay, potatoes. We're just gonna pretend that these potatoes haven't been sitting here for 3.5 hours. A potato shouldn't do this. But when roasted properly, they're delicious. They're ultra crisp and fluffy on the inside. Okay, the center ones are actually good. This kind of comes together a little bit like a baked potato, but there's no bacon. If you added bacon, the price would go all the way up, all right? So just don't add bacon. The chipotle powder brings the smokiness that the bacon would. The sour cream is, well, sour component, and it's the baked potato combination flavor of potato and cream. The chives, the parsley, it's spiced, it's rich, and you could eat it all day long. You've been hanging out with your homies for a while, brunch is almost done, and you think, you know what? I want one more thing. Caramelized banana crepes, cinnamon whipped cream. We did something with this. This is by far the best out of the three. Granted, totally different because it's dessert. The banana plays perfectly with the cinnamon. It's rich, but it's balanced at the same time. This fruity, sweet, and slightly tart banana brings everything together in a way that it just makes sense. Speaking of things that make sense, this is a brunch for this price per person. It doesn't get any better than that. Sip your beer mosa and shut the hell up and have a beautiful Sunday morning.
You wanna know what else is full of big, plump, jiggly eggs? B-roll.
Guys, and that is it. So we had our brunch for this dollar amount per person. What more do you want from me? Maybe it's not the most perfect price, but at least it's not $120, brother. But this still has all the traditional flavors that you want in a brunch, the textures, everything. Do you even want to go out anymore? Probably chances are you will. But hey, it's there. So with all that said, if you enjoyed this video or you learned something, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Someone's calling me right now. Who's calling me? You know what? They want to be on camera? Fine. I'm afraid to answer it because, oh, they hung up.